What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So, Michigan State football kicks off their 2025 season against Western Michigan at 7 o'clock Friday night in Spartan Stadium. Now, Michigan State looking to start the season off right after going 5-7 in year one under Jonathan Smith and looking to get back to a bowl game, which they have not been to since 2021. Western Michigan is coming off a 6-7 year, entering year three under Lance Taylor. But before we do jump into this matchup, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down there. We'll have more Michigan State football content on the channel throughout the season. We will have previews and recaps for every single game, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. Now, starting with Western Michigan, they said they plan on using two quarterbacks, Brock Lowry and Brady Jones. Brock only had 8 attempts last year for 21 yards at Indiana, and Jones is coming in from the JUCO ranks, but he threw for 4,400 yards and 44 touchdowns. At running back, Jalen Buckley had a solid 2024 season, 683 yards, 9 touchdowns. Defensively, for the Western Michigan Broncos, former Spartan Tate Halleck. Safety, good year last year, over 50 tackles, 4 interceptions as well. But look, it is hard to preview any week one game across college football with the turnover at every single program, really. Some programs less than others, but it is definitely hard to know what is going to be on the field for your opponent coming into week one. Western Michigan is no different here. Obviously, new faces, new places, whatnot. So that's kind of just the skinny on everything with Western right now. Just kind of the couple playmakers on offense we're looking at, and then, Spartan Tate Halleck on defense. Last year, offensively, Western Michigan scored around 29 a game, gave up around 31 per game, averaged 183 yards rushing, allowed 193. And then passing, they passed for 187 per game and allowed 223. Obviously, some of that stuff doesn't really matter because a lot of new faces in new places for Western. But that's what we're going off right here. Last year, allowed teams to go 13 for 16 on fourth down. So that's something, to look at. If Michigan State, please don't get in a fourth and short. If we get in a third and short, please just convert. Don't get us to fourth down. But if Michigan State does get to fourth down, curious if teams will be able to convert against Western at a similar clip as they did last year. So let's just switch it over to Michigan State here. And that's what a lot of this is going to be about, what we want to see from Michigan State to kick off this 2025 season. For Michigan State, we need to score more touchdowns. Only 19 points per game last year on 25 touchdowns for the year. Not going to get it done in a Big Ten schedule that is always going to be tough, and the schedule that Michigan State plays. Not going to get it done. Now, a lot of that is converting in the red zone as well. A handful of times last year, Michigan State gets into the red zone, can't punch it into the end zone, and they have to settle for field goals. And kind of as we talked about in our season preview for Michigan State, kicking could be a question mark to start the season with the handful of guys banged up and some unproven guys at this level currently. So you got to convert when you get into the red zone and score touchdowns. Third down efficiency, 38%. For Michigan State last year. That number has to go up. 52% on fourth down. Not horrible. Don't want to put yourself in so many fourth down situations, so need that third down number to come up. Turnovers. For Michigan State, that was obviously a big piece of the puzzle last year. Have to average only around 1 per game. Now, that doesn't mean you turn the ball over once per game. That means throughout the course of the season, you need to average only about 1 per game. That can be skewed. Last year, 12 interceptions for Michigan State, 7 fumbles lost, and we're -8 in the turnover ratio. Got to win the turnover battle, have a positive turnover ratio if you want to be successful. And then specifically looking at Aiden Childs, not putting the ball in risky spots. It's week one, a lot of new faces. You've had the summer and camps to get to know everyone, so not expecting to go out there and throw up 400-something yards and 5 touchdowns. That would be really nice, and Spartan Stadium would be rocking. But just not putting the ball in risky spots, having the whole operation move smoothly, as you can for a week one, and just not putting those balls in risky spots and not turning it over or not having the mind-blowing turnovers. Like, why would you throw it into triple coverage, or why would you, stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen the games last year. Just not having any of those type of plays. Offensive line, how does the group look? Concurrently, how does Aiden have time? Does he have time in the pocket? And are there holes for this running back room with unproven guys at this point? How does it look? And again, it is Western. No offense to Western, but you should be able to have the advantage at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. So you should be able to dominate in the run game and, at the offensive line. But if you're struggling, that could be not a good sign. But I'm curious how the offensive line looks and how they physically impose themselves to kick off the season. Excited for the wide receiving corps. Most exciting group, I think, since the wide receiver group in 2021 that obviously had 3 NFL guys in Jaden Reed, Keon Coleman, and Jalen Naylor. And obviously, I did my preview on them, and everyone's heard the hype around them. Everyone knows Nick Marsh, but Omari Kelly has had incredible hype throughout spring, throughout fall camp, everything. Those seem like your 1 and 2. Third spot, the slot spot, Krishan McCray, Rodney Bullard, that's where we sit. But I mean, even you go depth too. Braylon Collier, the freshman, love him. Think he's going to have an incredible career here at Michigan State. And then even down to Evan Boyd, an East Lansing kid coming home from Central Michigan, was there for 2 years. I just think they go fairly deep at that wide receiver core position. Defense, is there pressure on the quarterback? Yes, this won't be the best front that you'll see throughout this season, but you need to get some confidence and get off to a fast start. Obviously, we know the problems that defensive line, especially the edge positions getting to the quarterback, had last year. So love to see that, start to trend in a positive direction in week 1. Next up, the cornerback rotation. What does that look like? I think it's going to be Joshua Eaton starting. I got Chance Rucker as the cornerback number 2, but sounds like that's going to be a fluid group as well to start the season. And then kicking. How does the operation look? With the injuries, the question marks, coming in. Just how does the whole operation look? You able to consistently hit the extra points, everything? Does that look good? As I said, not looking for them to come out and hit 48-yard field goals like Jonathan Kim, but can you consistently hit chip shot field goals and extra points to start the season? Will start to alleviate some of that question mark. Now, currently, Michigan State is favored by 20.5 at time of recording in this game. Now, going to bring back this year my weekly 5 bets for this weekend of college football. Now, for this weekend, starting with our game, I'm taking the under 49.5 in our game, Michigan State versus Western. Then Ohio State versus Texas Saturday afternoon. I'm taking Ohio State minus 2.5. Alabama versus Florida State. Thomas Castellanos and Florida State doing a lot of talking. That means give me Alabama minus 13.5. No, it's not Nick Saban, but it's still Alabama. Give me Alabama 13.5. Clemson versus LSU. I got Clemson money line. Notre Dame versus Miami. I got Notre Dame minus 2.5. Now with a bonus, since this is week 1, I also got some season-long bets. Starting out with Michigan State. I got Michigan State 7+ wins on the year. USC, I got 9+ wins. LSU, 10+ wins. And then Ohio State, I have them having an undefeated regular season. And then I have Clemson, little old Clemson and Dabo Swinney. I have them winning the national championship. Now I'm looking forward to week 1 here. Looking forward to the whole season as a whole. But week 1, getting back in Spartan Stadium. Love getting in Spartan Stadium. Glad they brought back Meet the Spartans last week, getting in. Getting to see the stadium, some upgrades they made, Little Caesars, Annie Ann's, and then see J-Bat's letter on Tuesday to the community, some new in-game experiences. Seems like hoping for fireworks, it sounds like, reading through the tea leaves, and also the great Matt Sheehan and Lockdown Spartans that got an interview with J-Bat, and coming from that interview, seems like saying to look to the sky for some new game day experiences. So hoping it's fireworks. That would be absolutely electric. Absolutely love seeing that at other stadiums and would love to see that brought to Spartan Stadium. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of what I leave here with. Looking forward to get back in Spartan Stadium and looking forward to finally see football here and see, what this team looks like to start to form this identity for this season. Are we going to get all the answers this week? No. Are we going to have any answers after next week? No, we probably won't have any solid answers of what this team will really be. Really, I think until after your 2-game road trip to USC and to Nebraska. After that, I think we'll have a pretty good idea of what this team will be like this season, but excited to see the first inklings or first clues of what this team will be like starting on Friday night. But anyway, that'll do it for this one. Can't wait to be in Spartan Stadium, Section 30, if you're going to be in the game. But anyway, that'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.